first we will see about DNA. Okay, we all have been, once you choose biotechnology, the major topic that always comes around everywhere is DNA. So what is DNA? DNA is nothing but the deoxyribonucleic acid, which is the hereditary material in humans and almost all the other organisms. Okay. Now, most of the DNA, it is located in our cell's nucleus. So it is called nuclear DNA. But a small amount of DNA, it can be also found in mitochondria. Mitochondria is nothing but the powerhouse of cell. So that is called mitochondrial DNA or mtDNA. Okay. Now, we know that DNA is our hereditary material. That means whatever we have got from our ancestors, it's being passed on to us from our parents, from our grandparents, from our great-grandparents, that information is being passed on to us. Now, how is this information being passed on? This information in DNA is stored as a code. Now, this code is made up of 4 chemical bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. We have abbreviations for them: A, G, C, and T. Okay. Then, human DNA consists of 3 billion bases. 3 billion means 3 into 10 raised to 8 billion, 8 bases, okay? And more than 99% of these bases are the same in all people. For me, for you, we have 99%. We are sharing 99% of our DNA, which is exactly the same, okay? The order or sequence of these bases determines the information available for building and maintaining an organism. Okay, the adenine always base pairs with thymine. You can see over here, it base pairs with thymine with a double hydrogen bond. Okay, whereas a cytosine always base pairs with guanine with a triple hydrogen bond. Okay. So these are base pairs: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. This is the basic linear structure of DNA. Okay, simplified version in which you can see everything clearly. Now each base, these bases are also attached to a sugar molecule. Which is a sugar molecule? This 5-carbon sugar molecule. You can see the 5-carbon one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And also a phosphate group. This is the phosphate molecule. Now together, this base, sugar, and phosphate is called a nucleotide. So you have your base, C and G. Out of this, one base, one phosphate group, one sugar molecule. This will give you a nucleotide. So this one unit is called a nucleotide. This is your nitrogenous base. This is your sugar molecule. This is your phosphate group. Now these nucleotides are arranged in long strands that form a spiral called double helix. So you have these nucleotides which will be joined together and they form a double helix. DNA in our cells is packaged into 46 chromosomes in the nucleus, okay? As well as being a naturally helical molecule, DNA is supercoiled using enzymes so that it takes up very less space. So DNA is a very long molecule. It is supercoiled. It's not just coiling. It is supercoiled. That means those coils are again coiled up. It forms such a compact structure which fits inside that small cell. So this supercoiling allows these 3 billion base pairs. We saw all these base pairs, right? A with C and T and C with G. These base pairs and this whole helical structure with 3 billion base pairs, they are supercoiled and they fit into a small space of 6 microns in each cell, okay? Which cannot be seen with our eyes. Now, the fun fact is, if you took a cell from your body, okay, you take a cell, you take out the DNA from it. You cannot see it, just imagine, okay. So you take out your cell, you take out the DNA from it and stretch it. This coil is there, no? You just stretch it out. You know how long it will be? It will be 2 meters long, more than our height. 2 meters more than our height, okay. So from one cell, if you take the DNA and stretch it out, it will be 2 meters long. And if you take the DNA from all your cells, all the body cells you have, you take out the DNA, you tie them with one another and you stretch it, it will be twice the diameter of the solar system. So it's that long. It's huge. It's amazing how our body, makes these small molecules, and compresses it into a small region. The topic is gene. So you are having a basic idea about DNA. Now what is gene? A gene is the basic physical and functional unit of heredity. Okay. So what are genes made up of? Genes are made up of DNA. Okay. Now some of these genes, they act as instructions to make molecules called proteins. So there are a lot of genes in your DNA. That means they are segments of DNA. Okay. A portion of DNA makes up a gene. Now these genes have lots of functions. The main function is to deliver some kind of instructions to make proteins. However, many genes do not code for proteins. Okay, so many genes are there which do not code for proteins. They have other functions which we'll discuss later. You might have heard about the Human Genome Project. That is like kind of the turning point in the study of genomics itself. Okay, so the Human Genome Project estimated that humans have between 20,000 to 25,000 genes. So that is the count of genes in your single DNA molecule, 20,000 to 25,000 genes. These genes are responsible for all of who you are. Okay. Now, every person has two copies of genes, one inherited from each parent. That is, one is from your mother, one is from your father. Okay. Most genes are the same in all people, but a small number of genes, that is less than 1% of the total, are slightly different between people. Alleles are forms of the same gene with small differences in the sequence of DNA bases. So these small differences contribute to each person's unique physical features. So in the beginning, I had told you that 99% of our DNA is exactly the same, okay? But this 1% difference, that is what is causing me to look different from you to look different from your friends, the way your height, your, taste buds even, the taste buds in your tongue, everything is different with that 1% difference. The difference in the code arrangement, ATCG, those 4 letters, they determine so much in our life. Yeah? So that is what causes all the difference between you and me. So we came to know what is DNA. We came to know what is gene. Gene is a set of DNA, right? It is made up of DNA. Now what is genome? You'll be understanding that I'm trying to take you towards what is genomics, okay? We learned about DNA, we learned about gene, we are now going to see what is a genome. Well, genome is nothing but an organism's complete set of DNA, including all of its genes. Your whole DNA, your whole set of genes, everything is called a genome. Together we have given them a name. So single thing is gene, okay? Complete set of DNA is called as genome. Now, each genome contains all the information needed to build and maintain that organism. So if you take the genome from an organism, you will have the whole information about how that organism should be built and maintained. Okay, complete information. The term genome was introduced in 1920 by H. Winkler. Genomics as subject, what is it? In very simple terms, genomics is the study of the whole genomes of organisms and incorporates elements from genetics. Okay, so you have your whole genomes. When we study about it, that is genomics. Very simple. Genomics, it uses a combination of many things. Okay, it has so many things coming under it. For example, recombinant DNA, DNA sequencing methods, and it uses bioinformatics to sequence, assemble, and analyze the structure and function of genomes. So bioinformatics is a very big tool in understanding how our gene is, what is the DNA sequence, DNA sequencing and mapping. Everything will come later, but that is what we study in genomics. Okay. So this is a Venn diagram that shows genomics, okay? Genomics is a culmination or is a combination of all these steps: genomes, pleiotropy, heterosis, epistasis. I'll come to that. Now, many of you will be confused, array, what is this genomics? And then we have studied something called genetics also. Are they both same or are they different? Well, the difference is that in classical genetics, that is genetic subject that we study, it considers only one gene or a gene's product at one time. Whenever we are studying about it, we will focus on one gene or a single product from that gene. Okay. But genomics, it considers the full complement of hereditary material, the whole stuff. That is what we focus on in genomics. So that is the difference between genetics and genomics. Okay. Moreover, genomics focuses on interactions between loci and alleles within the genome and other interactions such as epistasis, pleiotropy, and heterosis. So I'll read out what is epistasis, pleiotropy, and heterosis. If needed, we'll go into detail later. Okay. So epistasis is the interaction of genes which are not alleles. Okay. How that interaction is, how is one gene suppressing? It's suppressing effect on another gene. You have a gene, how that gene is suppressing another gene. Suppressing means inhibiting another gene. So the study of that is called epistasis. Next is pleiotropy. Pleiotropy is how one gene influences two or more unrelated phenotypic traits. So pleiotropy is more of a, one single gene. How is it going to affect phenotypic traits of other or two or more genes? Phenotypic traits means, the physical traits that you can see, the height, the hair color, the eye color. Those are phenotypic traits. Okay. So how one gene is affecting the phenotypic traits of two or more genes. That is pleiotropy. Okay. And heterosis. Heterosis is how progeny of diverse varieties of a species exhibit greater development qualities. That means you have two different varieties, okay? You merge them, you get a progeny. Progeny means the offspring. How is that offspring having a better developmental qualities in it? Okay. A combination of all of this is genomics. The term genomics was coined by T.H. Roderick in 1987.